January is a little bit of a strange month. We have a holiday next Monday, Martin Luther King Jr. Day. So we will not be meeting live on January 17th. That's next Monday. So to continue your practice, tune into our YouTube channel. And then following that Monday is our Spanish Mindfulness Mondays. So also, again, tune into our YouTube channel, and we'll regroup on January 31st with our newest expert who's going to be contributing to our journey through mindfulness, Dr. Catalina McInerney from the University of Miami on January 31st. Join our 2021 community grantee, Cincinnati Music and Wellness Coalition, for a fun collaborative program called Health Rhythms. Trained facilitators from Cincinnati Music and Wellness Coalition will guide participants in an interactive drumming program that fosters creativity and social engagement. Session elements include breathing, movement, music, and bodily awareness. This evidence-based program was developed by Barry Bittman, a neurologist and pioneer in mind-body medicine. No previous musical experience or drums are necessary. You can drum with your hands on any hard surface. So if you find this program helpful, fun, beneficial to your Parkinson's, to your mental health, I do encourage you to join us this Wellness Wednesday for our social engagement, drumming up health in the Parkinson's community. Should be fun. A little bit about the Parkinson's Foundation. Our mission is to make life better for people with Parkinson's. Our staff and our volunteers around the country, around the world, are doing so, are fulfilling our mission to make life better for people with Parkinson's. And we do this in 3 ways to achieve our mission. We pursue 3 goals. That's to improve care for everyone with Parkinson's, advance research toward a cure, and empower and educate our global community. So thanks so much for being here today. If you have any questions that are more specific to your Parkinson's journey, if you just want to read more about research, if you're looking for a new doctor, support, anything in your Parkinson's care or your loved one's Parkinson's care, do not hesitate to connect with us online at parkinson.org or connect with our bilingual Parkinson specialist at our 1-800-4PD-INFO helpline. You can also email them at helpline@parkinson.org. And now I'm so excited to welcome Dr. Rush back to the scene, back to our Mindfulness Mondays in this new year of 2022. She has something new for us today, and I'm so excited to be able to sit back and practice with each of you with Dr. Rush. Dr. Rush, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Krista. Happy New Year, everyone. It's so good to see so many folks in one place wanting to talk and listen about mindfulness today. So thank you so much for joining us. And I hope to make the next 20 minutes or so a fruitful experience for you. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm Taylor Rush. I'm a health psychologist, and I work in our movement disorders department here at the Cleveland Clinic in Cleveland, Ohio. So today is a very Cleveland day with 20-degree temperatures and a little bit of snow and a lot of gray. So for those of you who live in places that look different, I envy you right now. So thank you for joining us and taking some time to spend with us on this mindfulness practice. And so mindfulness is a topic that comes up quite often in my work with patients who have Parkinson's. And I really enjoy talking about this, hence why I started doing this with the Parkinson's Foundation last year. And today, I'm taking a little bit different direction with our practice. So for many of our mindfulness practices, you may notice that we have a specific area of focus. So we are either focusing on how to be mindful, so how to be present in this moment without judgment. That is our definition of mindfulness for those of you who ask. How to be mindful with breathing, how to be mindful with sensations you feel in the body, how to be mindfully aware of things that are going on around you, how to mindfully foster gratitude or loving kindness, or a sense of beginner's mind, trying to cultivate a sense of wonder and awe with things that maybe you could look at differently. So we've talked about a lot of ways to be mindful through these series over the past almost 2 years. And so today I thought we might focus on something called choiceless awareness. Now, for those of you who have been with us and have been doing some practices with your own meditation, this is kind of a next step that we often take. For those of you who are completely brand new to this whole idea of mindfulness, that is completely fine too. Okay, so even if this is your first day, we're going to take it slow, and we're going to talk a little bit about how we can eventually work towards a goal of doing a practice of choiceless awareness. So don't feel intimidated, don't feel frustrated if this is your first time. We'll loop back around to some other strategies as we go, but just kind of taking it as it comes. Whatever happens today was meant to be the way that it happens, okay? So when we think about mindfulness, there are 3 components that we often look at, and that is intention. So why are we doing this mindfulness practice? Attitude, which is how do we do this practice? And that's often related to, can we come into this practice with an open mind? Can we come into it with an open heart? Can we be non-judgmental about how we practice? And then the last piece is attention. So what is it that we are focusing on? And as I said earlier, sometimes we focus on different pieces to what it is to be mindful. Breathing, that's a big anchor with any meditation. Sometimes it's related to the body. Sometimes it's related to our emotions. And so today I thought we would talk about choiceless awareness as a practice on how to strengthen your attention. Because so often it's not until we try to pay attention to things that we realize we have a squirrel brain, right? It goes from, one topic to the next topic to the next topic, and it kind of floats all over the place. And so choiceless awareness is kind of being able to observe our field of attention and just observe how the squirrel may move around the tree, so to speak, rather than trying to tell the squirrel to sit on any specific branch. And so really choiceless awareness is being able to be willing to be with whatever arises, whatever sensation you may experience, whatever sound you may hear, good, bad, or indifferent. And so it's a practice in being able to see the forest for the trees and just be able to be in that moment of experience rather than labeling it or judging it or trying to avoid it. And so Jon Kabat-Zinn, who's kind of our father of modern mindfulness, who brought a lot of these strategies into mainstream. In his book, Full Catastrophe Living, he says, when it comes to choiceless awareness, just sit. Don't hold on to anything. Don't look for anything. Just practice being completely open and receptive to whatever comes into your field of awareness, letting it all come and go, just watching and witnessing in stillness. And I will say that there are moments when that comes in pretty handy for me because I live in a pretty sensory rich environment. I have 2 young kids. I have 2 dogs. I work in a very busy place. And sometimes there's a lot of things that come at me and I try to focus on each of them all at once and it doesn't work out very well. And so if I engage in just a moment of choiceless awareness when I have time, I'm able to just kind of see all of what's going on and hear it and feel it rather than feel like I have to do something about each of those things separately. I just kind of take it in. And it kind of gives me a feeling of centering so that I can then kind of proceed with my day and whatever surprises may be in store. So while this may seem kind of abstract and it can be a difficult form of practice, because there isn't a specific focus, we don't feel like we have our marching orders. It's okay if it feels uncomfortable or it feels overwhelming. Just sit with that feeling without trying to change it or judge it, and notice whatever else may arise, because that's the beauty of choiceless awareness. Your awareness can change depending on where your brain is focused. So I thought what we would do is do kind of an introduction to choiceless awareness today by slowly starting with focusing on the breath and then expanding almost layers of awareness to other things as we go, so that we can come to a sense of just whatever's going on around us and being a witness to that as a way to kind of help slow our minds and give us a moment of reprieve in the midst of all the chaos that is this world right now. So if you would like to join me, let's go ahead and start by getting in a comfortable position. So for some people that is sitting, for some that's reclining, lying down, whatever feels best for you. Just feeling, if you're seated, feeling your spine align, feeling your feet on the floor. And you can close your eyes if that feels comfortable for you, or just find a soft fixed point, 4 or so feet in front of you that you can just gaze at. Just noticing where your arms and legs are in relation to your core. And we're going to start with the core focus on the breath. Noticing the breath as it moves in through your nose or mouth. Not trying to change it in any way, just noticing what it feels like as the sensation of the breath comes in, filling your lungs, and the sensation of the breath as it moves out of your lungs, up through your throat, out of your nose or mouth. Keeping in mind that the breath is always the anchor. If ever you feel overwhelmed or frustrated by a practice that you're trying, think of the breath as your solid ground, something you can always come back to. And with each breath, allowing yourself just to be, knowing that there is no right or wrong way to breathe or approach this meditation practice. No labels, just noticing. Now, in addition to that focus on the breath, I would invite you to consider noticing what you hear around you. Maybe background noise, cars on the street, a fan whirring, air conditioner kicking on, a pet trying to be pesky as you do your meditation practice. Just notice what you hear. And again, remember, no labels, just noticing. Not labeling a sound as irksome or pleasant, Just noticing the sound itself. So again, not reacting to the sounds, just noticing your position as something that is hearing the sounds. Noticing the breath, noticing any sounds, both those that are occurring sporadically and those that are static in your background. Now, adding another layer of awareness to your body's sensations as a whole. Noticing your skin, noticing your muscles, your posture, what areas of your body are touching furniture or other parts of yourself. Noticing the feeling of temperature on your skin. And again, with physical sensations, not getting wrapped up into any one sensation, even if certain ones may be speaking louder than others. Pain, tension, discomfort. Just noticing the sensation of your body, both the loud ones and the quiet ones. Along with the sounds in your environment, along with the sensation of your breath. Now, if your eyes are closed or if they're open, consider now layering on awareness to what you see. Could be your screen in front of you. It could be other things within the immediate scope of your surroundings. A bird or squirrel outside the window. Noticing furniture. Noticing movement. Again, not labeling, just noticing the things within your immediate visual purview. Along with noticing your body, what you hear, and your breath. Awareness of each of those things may change moment to moment, but that's actually the point, is that our awareness does change from moment to moment, depending on what's going on right then. Awareness is sometimes described as a river. The water you see one moment is different water than the next. The idea is that our attention to these things helps to engage our awareness. engage our overall ability to sense the world around us. So in the next few moments, just allow yourself to be aware of the space surrounding all of these pieces of your awareness. Allowing thoughts, sensations, and feelings rise and then disappear like clouds in the sky. Allowing your awareness to be whatever it is in this moment. Not disturbed by anything that's coming or going. Allowing yourself to welcome everything without pushing away. Now, if you're ready, bringing the focus specifically back to the breath. Again, anchoring to the rhythmic ebb and flow of your breath pattern. Bringing yourself back to your steady ground. When you're ready, start wiggling your fingers and your toes. Start shifting those shoulders, shifting the weight in your seat to kind of reactivate the body. And coming back to a focus on our session here on Zoom. Right, starting to see heads come up a little bit. Thank you all for joining us today.
Dr. Resch, I pulled a couple of questions that I found in the chat just to save you from going
Thank you.
through it. We do have quite a few new members with us today. So just to set a baseline, if you would just generally define what mindfulness means for us.
So mindfulness in the simplest definition is just paying attention to the present moment without judgment. Those are our central tenets of being mindful, is being here right now. So often our mind goes, into the future and anticipating what's going to happen next, or in the past and what's already happened and we can't change. And we end up doing the splits between 1 foot in the future and 1 foot in the past. And we don't necessarily always take in, appreciate, or absorb what's going on right here, right now. So the idea is that we practice mindfulness in order to gauge a better sense of intentional awareness right here, right now. And we know that this can help with stress management. It can help with people being able to strengthen their abilities to cope with difficult circumstances and hopefully enhance their overall quality of life. So that is why we do this.
And to follow up, little devil's advocate here, one of our new participants asks me, how does one focus on things around you without judgment? It seems that I'm always judging everything and around me. So when we're practicing mindfulness, how do we let go of that judgment?
Yeah, I think it's great that you notice that you have judgment. Not everyone always notices that those are judgmental thoughts. And so I think, we're trained from a very early age to judge everything, right? We label everything as good or bad or something that we want to keep or something we want to get rid of. And so I think we're socialized that way from a very early age, and our brain tends to work that way. And so to do this is not an easy ask of your brain. This takes time, it takes effort, it takes energy, and it means that we have to sometimes connect our brain in a slightly different way to our experiences. And so if you notice that you're judging, I would just, kind of say that. And so if you notice a judgmental thought like, oh gosh, it's too cold in here, or gosh, my body's not doing what I want it to do, just take a step back and say, judging. Allow yourself a moment to just say what it is that you're doing rather than engage in the judgmental statement. And over time, what that does is it helps you to detach from some of that judgment and just be able to experience the situation for what it is, because sometimes we may actually find things that are, that we like, or things that are positive and experiences that we otherwise would have deemed completely negative, and vice versa. So we're able to experience the situation more balanced than we otherwise would in this dichotomy of all good or all bad. So it's a process, and it's a challenging one. And maybe, that's good information for us to have to maybe add to a future session to be able to work on that.
A couple of really good questions, Dr. Rush, that have come in. Linda asks, what if your PD demands attention?
Yeah, and so I think that Parkinson's, among a lot of neurologic disorders, it's hard to sometimes ignore. And so I'm not saying that mindfulness means ignoring. It just means that, and sometimes with your Parkinson's, there may be a reason that your body is asking for that attention. And it may be, something that you need to pay attention to because it's time to take your medication, because you need to get up and stretch, or, there's something that there's something that your body is asking for that you need to pay attention to. But I would say if the Parkinson's symptoms are demanding your attention 24/7 and it's hard to think of anything else, then we need to try to work on ways to focus a practice away from that so that you have life outside of Parkinson's, because Parkinson's should not demand all of you. That is not, where we want you to be. And that's a lot of what I end up working on with people. So that's a great question.
And I've got two final questions. Linda just writes to us, focusing on the present, meaning knowing and feeling the status of my body. If you could just kind of elaborate a little bit more on that statement from Linda.
Sure. So yes. So again, it's about being able to notice some of those sensations of the body without necessarily getting enveloped by them, right? And so sometimes if you're feeling stiff or dyskinetic, or you're getting some dystonic cramping, it's very easy to get completely enveloped by those sensations, and it's bad and I need to make it go away. And so being able to kind of take a step back and say, okay, I'm noticing these sensations, and maybe there's some things that I need to do about them. And maybe I need to take my medication. Maybe I need to do some stretches. Maybe I need to take 3 solid deep breaths so my brain can calm down a little bit. And so that way you can be more mindful in your approach to how you manage your Parkinson's symptoms rather than it driving the bus.
Perfect. And something that I think is very important that we address, the difference between mindfulness and mindlessness.
Yes. So being mindless is like, if you've ever driven home and then really didn't remember the drive of getting there, that's being mindless, because it's you go into kind of an automatic mode where you just do what you've done because you've done it 1,000 times before. Being mindful is saying, I noticed on the way home that they're, building, a new bank on the corner of this street. And I noticed that the flowers were coming into bloom in this yard. And I noticed that the sun looked really cool in between the leaves as I was driving down this road. And so being mindful means that you're paying attention, even if it's a mundane task that you've done 1,000 times, you're in that moment and paying attention to what it is then. Being mindless assumes that everything's the same, and so you kind of mentally check out of it.
Thank you, Dr. Rush. Lots of good questions today. Thank each of you for
Excellent.
joining us. Yeah.
Always. Thank you guys so much for having me.
And just a reminder that we will not be meeting live for the next 2 Mondays. So we'll come back together on January 31st. If you wish to receive email notification reminders for the next coming sessions, please do register for 2022 sessions. This just allows us to send those reminders to people who are opting in for those communications. So please do register. Jennifer's going to drop that link in the chat. If you come back to the video at a later time, it's parkinson.org/PD health. Click on the Mindfulness Monday session. You only have to register once to get the links and reminders for all of 2022 sessions. If you have questions specific to your Parkinson's disease, your loved one's journey with Parkinson's, or anything outside or related to Parkinson's that we did not get to answer today, please do not hesitate to reach out to our helpline. They are Parkinson's specialists who can help you find a Parkinson's expert, a neuropsychologist, any kind of need or support that you might need through your journey with Parkinson's, whether you're newly diagnosed or advanced, or just want to learn a little bit more about mindfulness. They are a great resource. So that is our helpline. Jennifer has that information in the chat at 1-800-4PD-INFO, or you can email them at helpline@parkinson.org. Just looking around to see if our eyes are glazed over or if anyone looks questioned. Perfect. Well, I will see you guys on January 31st, and I'll be another year older by then. So I will see you guys in 3 weeks. Have a wonderful January. And Dr. Rush, thank you so much for your guidance and expertise today.
Of course. Thank you, Krista. Thank you, everyone.